Welcome to NatCast. It's the very first episode of our D&D podcast. For the first 10 installments of this podcast, it'll be, I think we should title like Origins. Like the Origins
or like backstories.
Yeah.
Backstories.
It'll be our, like, players' backgrounds and stuff in D&D. So, yeah. A couple announcements first. So, biggest thing is we do no longer have the episode 1 of Chronicles of the Chronosphere.
I suck at my job.
So don't worry. We're not leaving you guys in the dark. We're still gonna have something for that Friday. We are tomorrow recording a one shot, and don't judge. It's probably not gonna be the best because I had one night to make it. So, yeah.
Just be better, Chris.
Yeah, just be better.
Yeah. So that's probably the biggest one. And you know what? It happens. You know, I can literally just tell you what happened in the session, and then we can move on from there. I mean, for Christ's sake, we started in literally the middle of his campaign, so
That's true.
it works. Critical Role, middle of their campaign, right? So it's okay. Some other announcements. I see you guys talking about our audio levels and stuff, and we do appreciate the feedback. Keep it up so we can keep fixing stuff. I think we're finally closing in on getting them right and stuff. This should be pretty good audio to you, even if you're a headphone user. So yeah,
it might be a little loud if you're.
And keep in mind, you know, we're switching between almost two entirely different sets of people when we do this.
Yeah,
all with different voices, all with different. The only two constants are us right here, and so, you know, it's something that we're trying to adjust as it comes. Once we get to a certain point, we'll eventually have all that stuff solidified. But until then, bear with us.
I think also announcements of announcements. I think we're going to do announcements before podcasts just because I don't really like the thing of doing them before campaigns, because when a campaign gets uploaded, you're in the mindset to listen to the campaign. So I think when we start, it doesn't matter whose podcast it is or NatCast. We're going to do announcements before, even if they're small little ones. But today we have the illustrious Dustin Durkee with us.
I'm illustrious.
And
even though I don't know what that word means. I'm illustrious.
We have recorded this twice. So this is the third go around, and the first two times we realized when it's just one-on-one, it's very awkward.
Yeah, you can't
so
laugh anybody.
We have Mr. Derek May, and his podcast will be.
It'll be later.
His podcast will be uploaded right after both of ours. So yeah, he's going to be a filler, just so we have that 3 constant in the podcast. But yes,
so I get to be a fantastic co-host today.
This is going to be Dustin Durkee's NatCast Origins or backstory, or
I like backstory.
We'll figure it out.
I like backstory because it's D&D related.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself outside of D&D?
Obviously, my name is Dustin Durkee. I go by Durkee, so you'll hear that.
Is it?
You'll hear me refer to that quite a bit, especially in the later podcasts when we are interviewing more of the members. That's what I'm referred to as. I am the general manager of a fast food restaurant right now, and you know, full-time job, partial time, dungeon master, and that's really all I do.
You're practically a full-time dungeon master too.
I work and I play D&D, and if you're curious, I stream sometimes.
You can plug. This is our channel.
Yeah. I don't have a solid schedule right now just because with this starting and, you know, work, I'm hoping to get back on a more solid schedule once everything calms down a little bit. But it's the Durkee Gaming. Check it out. I'm horrible at it, but we do it.
We'll just put a link in the bio.
Which
there'll be a link in the description.
To go back to the announcements very quick, we have made a pretty set schedule. Fridays. So at the end of your week, you have another thing to look forward to. The way we're going to do it is what is it? It's like the first week of the month it'll be...
First week of the month is going to be, I think we decided...
Is it Chronicles?
No, I think we decided it was going to be podcast and then Chronicles, so we have a little bit more time, a little bit more of a window to...
Edit and stuff.
Do a little bit more changes. Yeah. So it's going to go podcast on the first week of the month, and then Chronicles of the Chronosphere, and then another podcast, and then Into the Apocalypse on the last week of the month.
So every Friday, you have something to look forward to. We're not like the freaks that are going to be like, it's going to be posted at this time every day. It's going to be...
It's Friday.
Give us from midnight to...
Midnight.
Yeah,
so
it'll be posted.
It's more like, hey, it's payday, because what day it also is.
Noobs and Nats Day.
Watch Noobs and Nats.
There you
Double
go.
whammy.
But yeah, so that was a clap. So you talked a
clap.
little bit about the man, the myth, the legend, Dustin Schmirke himself. Talk to us about how you started D&D, what it was like.
So I started D&D. One of my friends actually got me into it. He had got the starter set. And he was like, yeah, let's try this out. This is going to be great. And
You guys start on 5th edition?
yeah, we started on 5th
Perfect.
edition.
Didn't that come out 2014?
Well, it's been 7 years, so yeah, somewhere around there. I pretty much 5th edition came out and I started playing D&D.
Yeah.
Which is good because 5th is very
Yeah, and that was the whole, because we talked about playing D&D earlier, but the same friend had a 3.5 book, and we all looked at it and went, we were in school, we were doing all this, none of us had time to do that.
Yeah.
So, when 5th edition came out, they released starter set. We were like, all right, we'll pick it up, and we all went through the character sheets, and we're like, none of us want to play these, and so we made characters ourselves, which we didn't know how, and they were awful. And they didn't fit in the story at all, which if you have run the Lost Mines of Phandelver, it's pretty tailored to those characters, the pre-made ones. So it was awkward. None of us knew the rules, and then it ended with our Fiend Warlock lighting a tavern on fire and me punching a guard in the face as a monk. So that was awful.
Good job using your monkly ways to punch cards.
Yeah, man. I was trying to play this like super serene, like the classic, Shaolin monk, and it was just me. I got pissed off all the time, and I just punched people.
I was gonna say, was that this is a little off topic, but was that the monk that you were telling me about that literally jumped off the thing and like tried to kill somebody by like kicking them in the face and then just hit the ground and died?
Yes. Yeah. He jumped off a very high cliff face and missed dramatically. And ended up just like how gravity works. Because we didn't understand what slow fall was at the time. And just donezo. That was it. But yeah, that was also leads in. That was my first PC. We'll get to him in a second. After that, I looked more into D&D, and I was like, let me try. Let me give it a shot. It was still terrible. None of us knew the rules, but I had so much more fun crafting a story, and because I took a little bit from Lost Mines and then I made it my own.
You just practically went straight into homebrew.
Yeah, literally, day one homebrew and shit, because it's way more fun, honestly. Modules have their place, but I've never. And so yeah, it's went from there, and I've been DMing long-running campaigns for the last 7 or so years. So, yeah.
Nice. What were your initial thoughts on the game?
As a player, I thought it was stupid as shit. I was like, literally it's like I'm playing one of those text video games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can understand that.
It's like I'm reading numbers off a character sheet. What's the point of this? I'm rolling die and going,
Yeah.
RNG. But then when I got in the DM's chair, I was like, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we were playing, it was like, he'd be like, oh, and then this happens. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Not like, what do you want to do? We were just like, and then I got in the chair. I'm like, oh, you're supposed to be writing a story here. Like, you're supposed to be creating a story as you go, not have the whole thing planned out. That's why I'm very much an advocate of the playing a tiny bit and improv the rest. But write everything down. Everything. Or else you end up like me and go, what was that NPC's name? Because your players take good notes. And then they're like, yeah, can we talk to this guy? You want to talk to who?
Who's that guy?
Like, who was that again?
Yeah. So write stuff down, guys.
But that definitely leads me up. Like, I think every player character should DM once, just to know the pressure that the DM also goes under.
Yeah, and there was a time that getting a tad bit personal, but that's fine. I was trying because I had so many people that wanted to play. Like I had almost an entire floor of a college dorm, wanting to play D&D, and I lost my mind. Literally, I
remember that. That was bad.
It didn't happen during a D&D session, but just even though it's not like real thing, the pressure to impress and make people want to come back to play more. That and, having a full-time job eventually got to me, and I just fucking lost it at work one day. Like, I threw my hands up and walked out, and I was, like, screaming and ranting, yelling, and I ended up in a psych ward. And they were like, you need to calm it down. And I was like, cool.
But then he calmed it down, now he's back.
We're all better now. We're good to go. It's not going to happen anymore, but...
All right, well, let's delve in a little bit to that first player character.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh. You mean my super shitty...
I want to know more about this shitty monk.
My super shitty open-hand monk that... I swear... Okay. So you guys know. I'm notorious for rolling bad. And that's part of the reason I'm a DM, because you're behind a screen and they don't actually have to know what your rolls are. Anyway. I'm notoriously bad at rolling.
That's why I don't let you touch my dice.
And I sleep with your dice under my pillow. So this monk, who was supposed to be the super badass, like one punch man, he hit the guard. Like literally, I'm pretty sure that's the only thing I hit. That whole campaign was that fucking guard at the end.
That's fantastic.
And I mean, he was a standard open hand monk, but I can't stress enough that we didn't understand how to play D&D. Like, I didn't know what hit dice were. I barely knew what hit points were. Like, the only basis I had was coming from a video game, so it kind of made sense. But, like, 90% of the abilities didn't make sense to me or any of us, and so it was like, I ignored half of them, and I was like, punch people. And I couldn't even do that, so...
Oh, yeah, I bet key points really messed with your head. You're like, I don't need these.
Literally, I was like, I can use this resource to punch more. That. I'm lifting it up because I'm getting comfortable now. Shut up. My lips are fine. But yeah, so his name was Callus. He's a wood elf monk. That was my first PC.
Wood elf? Oh wait, no, they get the wisdom boost.
They get the wisdom, the dexterity boost, and they get extra movement speed.
Yeah, they do.
That's pretty cool, which you're very familiar with because your first character was a wood elf monk.
But he was pretty dope.
Sirik was pretty cool, I will say. Knowing how to build characters helps a lot when you want to build a character.
Yeah, he's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Guys.
Anyway, yeah, that was my first PC.
Okay, so what was your, and this doesn't have to be one that you've even made or played.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite PC?
Ooh, my favorite PC.
Well, here we can
Wait.
two-way question that. It can be one that you've made and then one that you've seen.
Okay. Yeah.
And seen or have been in your party.
Yeah.
Because I just want to see which of our player characters.
Well, yeah, because it's always been you guys.
Better be one of mine, motherfucker.
It isn't.
Yeah, I know.
The favorite PC that I've played. See, it's hard because I haven't played a lot.
Mm-hmm.
In entirety, I played my monk. I played Callus. I played my Oath of Ancients paladin that went rogue in a death house. I played a few, like 2 sessions of a celestial warlock.
You've played Brom.
I played Brom, my dwarven cleric. I mean, I've played a lot of PCs, but it's always been like one shots or like 2 to 3 sessions. Nothing long enough for me to really get attached. Probably, honestly, my favorite PC is the one I'm playing in your campaign. One, just because I have enough time. I know that this campaign's going to last, and so I have, I can get that emotional attachment to it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I've always wanted to play that super... What are you looking at?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm just monitoring, make sure everything's okay.
Yeah,
I'm still
stop
listening to you.
You're pulling at me now. Yeah, there you go. I've always wanted, I love... Obviously, you have to love combat if you're playing D&D. That's it's a third of the game.
That's why I play tacticians all the time.
But I've always been in it for the roleplay, the story. And this is very much, I mean, if you want, I can post a link to Oliver's character sheet. Like, his physical his hard stats are not the best. They're okay. We rolled. But his soft stats are, I mean,
Insane.
I think it's 18 charisma, a 17 wisdom, and a 16 intelligence right now. He's very much that like,
You're the controller off the battlefield.
exactly. If any of you have watched the show Peaky Blinders, it's on Netflix. Check it out. It's cool. I kind of based him off the main character from that, Thomas Shelby. He's a mob boss and you'll get to meet him when we watch the Chronicles of Chronosphere. He was a mob boss in the 1920s, and he's had a pretty rough life that's made him kind of this cold, nihilistic. He's very full of himself. He's very power hungry, but he's also very tactical about the things that he does. So yeah, I like him a lot. I put a lot of time into him so far, and yeah, I'm just excited to see where it goes.
So wasn't his backstory like 4 pages?
It wasn't. It originally was, but I slimmed it down quite a bit. I liked that'd be a cool thing that we could do after, like when the campaign ends. We could post backstories of everyone, just if like little points and stuff, just to see where our headspace was. That means everyone needs to write a backstory.
Oops.
So,
but the second part of that question,
there you go.
favorite one that I've seen, it's not like a single PC. Like, especially because a lot of the PCs that I've DM'd for, I've helped build. I've had a hand in being like, this could optimize you a little bit more, roleplay wise, this would probably be a better choice, yada, yada, yada. Sorry, headphone users. But it's been more of moments. Like in the first my first big campaign, when Dave stabbed his father in the back and found out he was a lich. When
I was so skeptical, I was like, he can't be nice.
When like Leokiss sacrificed his soul, our classic Seducey bard who didn't give a shit about anyone ended up sacrificing his soul to bring back a bunch of people. And it's just those little moments in a character's entire story, those character defining moments, that it's just, those are things I remember. Like, I remember all the PCs I've DM'd for. But the reason I remember them is because of those moments. Yeah, like, I remember Lance's Paladin because he had a 32 armor class.
32 armor class, and we literally threw him as, like, we were flying. And just like, yep, it's the cannonball of death.
Yeah, he just charge in, like, he just drop out of flying and become this meteor. Which was awesome because he was this, he kind of homebrewed a platinum dragonborn for this because he wanted to be, like, as close to the platinum dragon as he could because he's a paladin. So he's platinum dragonborn, super shiny, super chrome. He was wearing,
Yeah, that's right. We called it the chrome bullet.
Yeah, the party wizard that was an NPC that I run, his name was Jace. He called him Chrome Dome all the time. He wore this like platinum plate armor that was huge and made him bulky. He was already big dragonborn. He had this huge tower shield that was platinum, and like he'd literally just drop out of the sky and put the tower shield in front of him and just plow into shit. But yeah, stuff like that. Those little moments in space. And I could go on for hours about this, but
yeah, I feel you. So let's talk about the exact antithesis to your favorite PC. What's your favorite monster?
My favorite monster. So I like a lot of the classics just because when I first started playing, I knew nothing about D&D. And then I found out that my father was a giant nerd. And he knew a lot about D&D, but the older editions. So what I learned about D&D was the classic monsters. Your beholders, your dragons and stuff. And I love those to this day. But there's weird ones. Yeah. I like the
on the fringe.
The on the fringe. My favorite type of monster is aberrations. Your beholders, your I think Mind Flayers might be Monstrosity. Don't quote me. I like those guys just because of how weird they are. And I can't pinpoint a specific one, mostly because I can't say half their names.
Yeah.
There's like an Otug. It's like a trash-eating... They're weird. But the flip side of that, I love goblins.
Goblins, yes. Goblins
I
are
fucking
fantastic.
love goblins. Mostly because you haven't seen surprise on a player's face until you modify a goblin stat block to do something that a goblin shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Like explode. Or, spew acid. Or do any number of things. I had this party was going one time, and this is early in the Tomb of Annihilation campaign.
Oh, okay.
There's these goblins that if any of you play through the Tomb of Annihilation, there's tribes of goblins that permeate all throughout the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was like, these guys are pretty beefed out already. They're 4th level. Unless I throw a shit ton of goblins at them, they're not going to do anything. So I was like, what if I modified them a little bit? What if I, So right off the bat, they shot poisonous dart frogs out of slingshots, which was awesome. It kind of sucked because we had a paladin in the party who at the time was immune to disease and poison, so it didn't matter to him. But the Celestial Warlock and the Turtle Druid, they cared a lot about that. And then it turned out that the goblins themselves had been eating the poison dart frogs. And so every time you get into melee and you cut them open, they'd spray out that their blood is fused with this poison, and it would it cracks your armor, and it would just, and it did a lot of damage. It didn't fuck around. And so they're all like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. So they ended up dropping trees on them. But yeah, just because they're such a basic monster, you can do anything with them. I mean, you can make a goblin 8 feet tall if you want to.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah.
That'd be horrifying. In fucking some Journey to the Center of the Earth shit, where all the big stuff is small and all the small stuff is big.
Yeah.
It's like you've got fire giants that are tiny, and you just got goblins that are 12 feet tall.
So to think about these
way too much
monsters, you use items to kill these monsters, right?
Yep.
What items would you like in the real world?
2 big ones that always come to mind. They're classic. The bag of holding, just because who the hell wouldn't want to have a bag of holding?
Yeah.
I mean, I could just pack up my entire house. That'd be it.
Yeah.
Moving would be so easy.
I mean, with the bag of holding, the only restriction is you have to be able to fit it into the opening of the bag.
I mean, yeah, but you can fit a lot of... I think it's I can't remember the exact dimensions, but I think it opens up to 2.5 feet.
Yeah.
It's big. And so, you just... I can fucking put my piece... I can put all this. Everything that you see around you.
I have to disagree with you because I don't carry that. I don't desire to carry that much stuff around.
No, but you can just have things on you and just be you just reach into and go, I want this, and go poop. And
have you never had a moment where you're like, fuck, I forgot about this and I need it?
It's in the bag of holding.
That's not a problem if it's in your bag of holding.
I mean, not that I couldn't fit in a pocket.
You just go, oh shit, I forgot my phone charger. Boop.
Bag of holding.
But then you have to buy another item of everything to put in there.
Not necessarily. You just keep that one with you at all times. You keep your bag of holding with you at all times.
But what if you forget? Because it'd be the same thing if you forget to put it in your pocket. What if you forget to put it in your bag?
Then you're an idiot. Yeah. You get the bag of holding and you go, these are the essentials.
I can see it. I just don't know that I personally would carry around that much.
How long does food keep in the bag of holding?
It doesn't.
Oh yeah, that's right. It goes.
Also, I'm a maniacal bastard, as we've learned. I identify as chaotic neutral because I don't care too much about others.
That should be a podcast question. What's your alignment?
Hey, well, here we go. You've seen it first. My alignment is chaotic neutral.
Well, here, let's ask because we missed on his.
If you ever come across mine, I don't say it, but neutral good.
Some days it's definitely more on the neutral evil side of things, but most of the time it's chaotic neutral. Anyway, I'd stick someone in the bag of holding.
Yep.
Because there's no air in the bag of holding.
They just.
And how are they going to find the body?
Wow.
You're welcome. Anyway, second.
Maybe we got that part out.
No, I'm not cutting that part out.
Just right there.
A deck of many things. Just because I like the chaos
Yeah.
that it can permeate.
Isn't one of the cards like you just draw it and then you just instantly die?
Well, there's one that your soul gets trapped and is guarded by something. And I was thinking about that one specifically, actually, because I was thinking about modern day applications for that, because I was thinking about putting it in, like, the Apocalypse campaign, or, like, if you wanted to put that in, like, which we'll get to in your podcast.
Yeah.
But, like, in your nuclear waste campaign. What if it, like, it trapped your soul in, like, an ammo box? In, like the, you know, like in a barracks or, like, an army base.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And you have to fucking fight a bunch of military men to get in there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be pretty cool, and that's probably what would
That
happen.
or even something like you stumble upon it by surprise, and you just get this like big story-rich like NPC.
Yeah, you're like, whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
You're expecting, you know, ammunition, and you open it, and a man pops out.
Like-
You're like... Also, how... I don't want to say cool, but, like...
Interesting
would it be if you just, like, pulled out the one that summons the death avatar? You'd be like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm a 21-year-old dude. Like, have at it, boyo. You know, I'm not gonna try and fight you because I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
My proficiency bonus is 0.
All stats 10.
I was also thinking about more real-world applications, like the ones where you gain or lose experience. Memories.
Just an insane amount. Oh, that's yeah.
Memories.
Memories
So, like,
and knowledge, right?
memories and knowledge, yeah. So, like, you lose experience, you lose memories.
Yeah.
Because that is your experience, you know. And you gain experience, you gain more knowledge. Or, you know, maybe you can see, like, you see your future partially.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you have that experience already, you know. I don't know, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
And then in one of them, you just get a shit ton of gold.
It's like, ooh, money.
So would that be like? Do you think if you're applying it, if it's applicable real world across the board?
I feel like it'd be currency.
Yeah, like U.S. dollars. I mean, you'd rather want gold.
Yeah,
But-
I feel like it'd be currency, yeah.
What if like you were like halfway on like a border, like Canada and the U.S. because most of that they have different currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you pulled it, you think you get like that 2 piles of like different money?
I think the card would split it in half.
Mm-hmm. And then like
And give me half the amount in one.
half in the other.
Yeah.
But you know,
Because the deck of many things up. You know what would be the other cool?
But you know what would happen if you did that? You just exchange your Canadian notes for American dollars,
because
and you
that's
have more,
worth
and
more.
you have more.
I wouldn't
American
pull a
dollars.
card. Quit rubbing your mic.
I was like testing to see if like this worked, and I tapped it and it was full red.
But I'm not dumb enough to draw a card on the border of somewhere. I would just be like, I'm in Canada now. Yeet.
Yeah.
And if you drew the money card, you just go, cool, U.S. dollars now.
So do you think, out of how powerful it is, like if someone drew, I don't know exactly what card it's called, but where you get the wishes, the 2 wishes, or is it 3 wishes?
I think this is going to be something that happens a lot because I like having exact.
Yeah. But regardless,
Mm-hmm.
do you think if you drew or if you had someone draw that for you, do you think when they realize they're like, because obviously once they draw it, they just like instinctively know they have this, right? Do you think you could like convince them that you have to give them one, or is it so powerful that they're just like, no, screw you, these are mine? You know what
Literally, I think they'd just be like, that's it, you know?
I mean? Yeah.
And that's the other side of it. It just doesn't have to be you drawing.
Yeah.
I think if I ever got super pissed, I'd just start drawing the entire thing and just wait.
Yeah, but drawing the entire thing can have its like super hardcore downsides.
Well, yeah.
Like, what was that? Was that in the battle royale in Critical Role where Grog started just ripping? He just drew 5 cards at once.
Yes, I think so. No, that might have been the end.
But he just started ripping cards out like one by one, and it was terrible. Oh, what does it not have the?
That would suck. I was looking the Flames card specifically. A powerful devil becomes your enemy. The devil seeks to ruin and plague your life, savoring your suffering before attempting to slay you. This enmity lasts until either you or the devil dies.
Oh wait, so what you're saying is, it already exists.
Just be like,
It's
could
like,
you imagine being like,
nothing
I'm
happened.
feeling lucky today. Fuck.
No, you draw that card and it goes. Nothing happened.
Oh, I forgot about that part of the Fool card. So, Fool, you lose 10,000 experience, discard this card, and then draw it from the deck again, counting both as one declared draw. If losing, you don't lose levels from it, but like, the gem one would be easily.
Oh, which card is it?
The idiot card.
Okay.
Permanently reduce your intelligence by 1d4 plus 1, minimum of 1. You can draw one additional card beyond what you declared. Jester, key. What would the key do for me? You get a magic item.
You just get another magic item.
Oh, the one that you're thinking of is the moon card, and you have to roll. It's 1d3 wishes.
Oh, okay. So,
Yes.
So you could potentially have 0 wishes. If you're doing a 1d4 minus 1.
Or you just get a d3.
What? I don't know what shape a d3 is.
It's a
Oh no, yeah, it's that weird
pyramid,
like,
but it's long, and you just
yeah.
well, talking about all these crazy things that could happen. What are some campaign concepts you either want to play in or DM yourself?
Which you being the forever DM, it's gonna be mostly playing.
mostly DMing. I want to take another. I've tried a few times to run a pirate-esque campaign. Spend most of your time on the ship, and it just hasn't panned out. I think that one needs a little bit more. You really got to flesh out that crew.
Yeah.
Give everyone those emotional attachments, and mostly it's been like, yeah, that's a person.
Yeah.
The other thing is my players have always immediately want to be like, I want to be the captain, and it's like, But I think if make an NPC captain, and then you guys are all members of this crew, that'd be a cool one.
Yeah.
That's definitely one that I want to take another stab at. I like themed campaigns. So, you're all members of a Thieves Guild, and you have to do this, or you're all,
If we ever do the Thieves Guild, I'm bringing Sirk back. I'm gonna play Sirk.
That's definitely, that was the place I was thinking about bringing it back. Or, you're all Fate-touched, And,
Or the Holier Than Thou that we're doing tomorrow.
Holier Than Thou, yeah.
Holier Than Thou ones.
See, this is my
This is where I like to plug clerics all the time. You just put in a bunch of clerics and go, they're the Amen.
See, this is my fear is that this was an idea you've had for a while, and it was bestowed upon me, and I'm worried I'm gonna here's a steaming pile of shit.
No, it's because
Here you go, figure it out.
see the difference is that one's that's a campaign.
Yeah.
This is more of a one-shot kind of thing, so
Yeah.
it's not as much.
It's just if this guy plans a little bit, we can do a one shot, just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he can adapt from there, branch out from there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely want to do the campaign where all the party members are warlocks, but none of them know that each other's a warlock.
Because you can have just a big variety of.
Yeah, and so
Until everybody casts Eldritch Blast and you go, huh?
Well, I mean, I have Eldritch Blast as a bard.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
you never know.
True.
You're just all some kind of spellcaster, but you've all got it turns out at the end that all the patrons are the same patron, and it's just been this one trickery god fucking with you guys the whole time. It's like,
That'd be a
yeah, you
good
figured it out.
Figured it out. That power's gone.
It's like, no, I have to kill you.
It's a little.
Yeah, I like a lot of those themed ones. I definitely want to play in. You've had a war campaign idea for a while that.
Oh yeah, long time.
Definitely want to play in that one.
Mm-hmm.
You've been talking about some campaign ideas, which we'll get into for your podcast.
I know. For you, you'd either be. I think I had the idea of eliminating to if you chose Paladin, either Vengeance or Conquest.
I definitely want to play Paladin at some point. I don't know when, but I want to play Paladin.
You're always pushing Paladin on.
I want to see you be a wizard. I mean, I'm gonna see a little bit of sorcery tomorrow, but I want to see you be a wizard sometime.
Wizard.
Be a war mage.
You keep bringing in wizard whenever I want to play something different, and you're like,
Play a wizard. You'd be so good at it.
you're like, play a wizard. I just want you to play a wizard, and if you go divination or abjuration, it's fine.
Oh,
and then
that's
and then I just go, I'm gonna play a fighter.
Can we talk about character concepts? Because I just have 8 sitting in my mind right now.
Yep, go.
Wait. You should probably save those for the Character Concepts podcast.
Can I talk about like one of them?
Yeah. How about just give us like a couple.
Give
Just
us like a quick
two-
brief thing so that you get people excited for the first.
Yeah.
For the actual.
So one of them, I'll give you two. I'll give you 2 because
Okay.
they're similar. So they both feature barbarian heavily. One of them is a zealot barbarian, 14 zealot barbarian, and a 6 fiend warlock. And his whole thing is instead of tanking the big boss, he goes around and kills all the little guys so that he can get a shit ton of temporary hit points and then be like, "What's up, fucker?" And the other one is the rage mage. He is 14, some kind of barbarian. I'm not 100% sure on that one yet. But then
I mean, when in doubt, you just go totem.
I always go to. I'm not 100% on the split yet because both have good. But then the other half is Blade Singer, the
Yep.
wizard.
Oh.
Because Blade Song, it's not a spell, and so you can use it while you're raging, and it gives you AC bonus, it gives you movement bonus, and you just become this singing, raging monstrosity. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
If you have the chance to look at it, I think the best way to do that one is 14 in one and then 6 in the other. Just because they both have like capstone-esque abilities at 14 that are really good. So
I'm going to cut you off there so you don't keep going and ruin it for yourself. That's the thing. After these 10 background or backstory or whatever we'll go with NatCasts, we're going to do themed. So like a whole podcast about magic items, a whole podcast about character concepts, a whole podcast featuring the fighters in both of our campus, stuff like that. And always, I know this is said on YouTube every hour and it never happens, but if you want to see it, you have to comment it. Once you comment it, we can make it happen, but we can't unless you comment it. So in this one and future ones, when we start creeping up on the theme podcast, we'll bring this up again. Comment themes because we're only human. We can only make up so many.
ideas.
Yeah. So let us know. I think that's most of the questions. What we got?
Oh wait, no.
we got
We got into character concepts a little bit, but we never discussed what's your favorite class.
Can I take a wild guess?
no.
Warlock.
That was my guess. Did I get it right?
Just because I play. Stop eating your mic. God. I might be playing two different warlocks in 2 different campaigns. They're so versatile and cool, man.
Yeah.
Sword clerics.
I don't want to be holy. I want to be able to worship a devil or be like, you give me power, I give you my soul.
No, you just worship the forge. Be a forge cleric. War cleric.
No, I don't want to worship things. Fuck worshiping things. If I can go, put your shirt down. If I can go, I sign this piece of paper and you give me powers, done. I don't give a shit what I have to pay. You want my firstborn? Done. You want all my kids? Done. Give me the ability to shoot force out of my fingertips or the tip of my penis if I want to. Cock lightning, man.
That just reminds me of the opening sequence of Critical Role every single time.
I swear I summon cock lightning. That's gonna happen at some point. Probably not.
Okay.
Oliver Tap's too lustrous for that.
Be like cigarette lightning.
So, what? So, I was gonna do it away, and then I was like, you know what? No, I'll just do it to the mic.
Fucking hate you.
So, what do you, as being the, like, we're me and you are pretty split down the middle of contribution in this channel, and this is basically like our baby. Like, we're husband and wife. I'm the husband, of course. What is your like ambitions and hopes and
Disadvantage.
What is your ambitions and hopes and expectations for this channel? A little bit down the line, because I mean you gotta think first week we're almost at 50 already, which is nuts.
I have a couple expectations and hopes for the channel. The first one is kind of a selfish one. I have a lot of D&D stuff going on up in here, and
This
I can only talk to the members of my small group of players so many times.
Yeah.
Before they're like, we've heard this one. And I'm like,
this will be a great outlet for you to
just getting all of the everything out.
Yeah.
Watch out. You might experience a podcast where it's literally only Durkee going, all right, so listen to this.
It's just my face the whole time. And then at the end of it, it zooms out and like 3 other people are sitting there like,
Or just walk in while you're doing it, like, what are you doing?
just me like under a blanket, like, another hope is that we can encourage and inspire and teach some of those newer players, those who are like, if you're not sure about D&D but you want to give it a shot, if you have no idea what D&D is, but you watch one of the episodes and that seems interesting, you know.
And if you know people who are like that, obviously they're not going to be too like versed in D&D and stuff, and it's not going to be in like the recommended and stuff, so send them here and we can help them a lot. That's the whole premise of our channel. Noobs&Nats, it's in the name.
I mean, we've in your campaign alone, 2 of them are brand new to D&D.
Spanking.
One of them has only played a family type home game all the time.
Yeah.
You know, not more than, I don't want to call it structured, but you know, this is his first new experience.
Yeah.
You know,
And then you have, you and me where we're like, oh, yeah, we know what we're doing.
but you have us who, well, especially me, who's jonesing to play.
Yeah.
And is super excited about it, you know. And then in my campaign, we've got you, who's fairly fresh to D&D, Kenzie, who's new at D&D. Let's be realistic. She's new at D&D.
She's doing her best.
She's doing very well. And then you have I will say you're going to notice quite a distinction between the 2 campaigns, whereas Chris's campaign
I think you have a lot more Nats.
Has a lot more of the noobs, as you would call it. My campaign has definitely a lot more of the Nats, as we will refer to them. A lot more of the seasoned veterans when it comes to D&D. I'm not going to say they're like, every ability and everything. They're not those kind of veterans, but they've been playing. They have been my group for pretty much the entire 7 years I've been DMing.
We've been playing and we've been, power gaming our characters to be like, all right, this is optimized to the way I need it to be.
They have been my hamsters,
I remember for the longest time we used point array when building our characters.
Well, yeah, because I didn't want you to be too overpowered, and then I just did it myself. And I was like, have all these items.
And then we banned ourselves.
And then you were like, I'm gonna max my casting stat at 6th level, and I'm like, no. But yeah, and then everyone just having a fucking good time, man. Just have fun. D&D's fun. That's what it's supposed to be.
It's fun, but it's also like it can be extremely emotional.
Yeah. Don't worry, you want your emotional fix? Into the Apocalypse, man.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
You want to see players shiver in fear? That's that first episode. Your faces during that whole first episode, you're just like, stop it.
The terrible thing is, like, in most of your campaigns, for me anyway, is I show up and I go, I know what's gonna happen. I think.
Well, yeah, because I bounce ideas off you.
Almost constantly, it's like,
stop it.
It's like, Derek, here's this.
But you know what?
What if I do this in there?
But you know what I love doing is I'll be like, oh, I can do this or I can do this, and I put all these ideas out in front of you, so you're like, it could be any of these, and then it's this
totally different.
idea down here,
It's this idea I didn't tell you about.
And then Derek's like, really cool. Yeah.
If you get to my podcast after this one, there's a story in there.
Yep. But yeah, I'm here to be fun.
Well, is that all you got for us?
That's about it. The only thing, what I will leave you with, because we like being educational and illustrious. I still need to figure out what the exact definition of that word is.
I think I looked it up. I think here. You know what? Let's just make sure we get it.
Because I use it like every day.
Illustrious.
Why didn't you just?
I didn't get that. Could you try?
Illustrious definition.
Illustrious means well known, respected, and admired for past achievements.
Yeah, we're definitely using.
I am illustrious.
Maybe to us you're illustrious, but to the world you're.
To everyone that knows me, I'm illustrious. Don't. Anyway. To the new players out there, or the old players who are thinking about it, take the leap. It's not as hard as it seems. And there's always room to learn and grow, even if you're seasoned, even if you've been playing D&D since you were born.
Or like you played first edition.
Yeah. There's always room to learn. There's always room to get better.
True. And don't be afraid to like play other tabletop role playing games.
That too. D&D is not the be all end all. That's what we like to play because that's what we started on. But like I said, it's not the be all end all. So yeah.
Well, all right. That was the first NatCast of the channel history. Like I said, 10 of these for the backstories of all 10 of our castmates. And, our cast is going to expand. We're going to end up losing some people and stuff like that. So there's going to be more of these. Yeah, like I said, thanks everyone for the feedback on the volumes and stuff. And that's how we fix it. So if you notice anything wrong with these or the campaigns themselves, please let us know, or we can't do anything about it. Chicka chicka, that's all we got for you.
Yeah.